Hello, everyone. It is time for a brand new round of box office predictions, and every single week I am beyond thrilled to do this video. This week is something else, though. We are basically on the cusp of a record-breaking box office weekend, and I find it so exciting. But before we get into the new round of movies here, or specifically one juggernaut of a movie, we got to do a little recapping because we had a bunch of people get a perfect lineup in Fantasy Movie League last week. 8 of them in total. Those 8 are Loki Odin 216's Cineplex, $1 billion Cineplex, Eva, Jaws 804's Cineplex, Ronin Theaters, Valhallaplex, Akeem and his Princely Robes, and Delmar Dennis. Congratulations, guys. Job well done. I am slowly creeping up in the ranks, but I have a feeling it's going to be very tough for me to crack the top 100 this time around, especially with such a big week and such a challenging week ahead of us right now in the game. Recapping what happened with my top 5 last week, wound up going 3 for 5 with my rankings. The Curse of La Llorona actually exceeded expectations and made a really solid $26.3 million opening weekend. Shazam took the 2 spot with a great hold. It only dropped 32.7% and made another $16.5 million. At number 3, we had Breakthrough, which kicked off its run with $11.3 million. And then one of the big surprises of the weekend was Captain Marvel. It actually climbed to the 4 spot. It didn't see a small drop as I predicted. It actually wound up with a 5.7% increase in profits, which gave it another $9.1 million to take to the bank. And then closing out the top 5 at the box office, we had Little, which made another $8.3 million. All right, now that King Dewey has gotten comfortable here, we can roll into our new predictions for this weekend. And right off the top here, I have to say, Endgame is essentially going to be a wrecking ball for all other movies this weekend, including my number 5, which is the movie Breakthrough. For this one, let's just briefly look at Miracles from Heaven and Heaven is for Real, 2 movies that I brought up last weekend. Looking at those movies and their weekend 2% changes, we had 34.6% and 36.3% respectively. So one might think maybe I should apply a similarly low percent change to Breakthrough this time around, especially because it could be considered good counter-programming. But the thing is, no movie is going to steer clear of Endgame's wake this weekend with how much we're expecting it to make. So I have to bring that percent change up at least 10% to something like 47%. And if that's what Breakthrough winds up losing this weekend, it's only making another $5.8 million. Now get ready for this shakeup right here, because I've got a pretty bold prediction for number 2, 3, and 4, beginning of course with number 4. That's where I've got Shazam. As much as I am rooting for Shazam to succeed, to continue its strong run, there is no doubt it is going to take a big hit this week. For a comp, I know this is going to sound weird, but bear with me for a second. I'm looking at the movie I Feel Pretty. It opened the weekend before Infinity War hit theaters, and it made $16 million. Very similar to what Shazam made last weekend. Then when Infinity War came out, it wound up seeing a 49% drop. Given the fact that Shazam is right in line with the audience that Endgame is gunning for, though, I'm going to bring that percent change up to like 55%, let's say. And if that's what Shazam winds up losing, it's making another $7.5 million this weekend. Making our way over to number 3 now. That is where I have last weekend's big winner. It is The Curse of La Llorona. And unfortunately for this one, even though it had a big weekend last weekend, I think a big weekend 2 drop is just inevitable, even with that B- cinema score, which is pretty good for a horror movie. But still, horror movies do tend to see big weekend 2 drops. And again, Endgame is in play. It's a game changer right there. Let's look at the movie Insidious Chapter 3 right now. So Insidious opened up with $22.7 million, somewhat similar to what La Llorona took last weekend. Then in its second weekend of release, that's when Jurassic World came into the picture, and it wound up seeing a really big 67.8% drop. And I would have a little more faith in La Llorona to hold on stronger than that, except for Endgame. So I think that percent change, there's really no getting around it. And if that's what it loses, it's making another $8.5 million this weekend. Now get ready for this one, because I am taking a bit of a big swing with this pick. My number 2 movie this weekend is Captain Marvel. Looking at Black Panther again, the weekend before Infinity War came out, that movie dropped 14.6%. Then the weekend Infinity War did hit theaters. That percent change actually came all the way down to 4%. I am a little reluctant to say Captain Marvel is going to follow the same exact path, because that would mean something like a 15% boost, which seems totally out of the realm of possibility right now. But given how ticket sales look at this specific moment as I'm recording this video, I do think it's going to be in very good shape, and it could maybe even stay even. And if it does, that means this movie is making another $9 million this weekend. All right, now it's the time we've all been waiting for. It is my #1 pick of the weekend, and it is going to Avengers Endgame. Oh boy, this is going to be huge. Not only am I predicting that Endgame is going to top Infinity War's $257.7 million opening weekend total, the highest opening weekend total at the domestic box office in history, but I also think this is going to be a major moment this weekend when Avengers Endgame becomes the very first movie of all time to crack $300 million opening weekend at the domestic box office. Yes, I do know there are some questions as to whether or not this is even possible given the number of theater seats and tickets in play, but I think it's happening because of those crazy high pre-sale numbers, the fact that some AMC locations are staying open for 72 hours straight, what ticket sales look like at this specific moment, marketing spending, the cost of premium tickets. There are so many reasons to think that this is going to be a record-breaking movie beyond our wildest dreams. So I am topping $300 million for Avengers Endgame, and I am coming in with $305 million for the movie's opening weekend. Wow. It is time to recap these predictions now. Avengers Endgame is topping my chart with $305 million for its opening weekend run. Then it's Captain Marvel at #2 with $9 million, followed by The Curse of La Llorona at #3 with $8.5 million. Shazam is coming in at #4 with $7.5 million. And then I have Breakthrough at #5 with $5.8 million. Guys, please hit that comment section below. I am so curious to know what you think the possibilities are for Avengers Endgame this weekend. Am I blowing it too far out of proportion? Is 300 million plus not even possible? Hit that comment section. Let's talk about it. Very curious to know what you think. Also, do not forget to lock those Fantasy Movie League lineups. Such a big weekend. A reminder, Endgame is split up. It is a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday option, so keep that in mind as you're putting things together. Wow, that was one heck of a video. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see how everything plays out. Before I say goodbye to you, though, I have some Patreon shoutouts to give, 6 in total, and this is going to a great group that includes Caleb, Seth, Tony, Aviel, Neil, and Rick. I've known you guys for quite a while now, and I hope you know how much I appreciate you being here and how much I think you guys rock. So really, thank you so much for the continued support, and a huge thanks to everybody out there watching this video. As always, please like and share it, and I will see you next weekend to see how we all did on our box office predictions.